Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly break their silence after an emotional NXT farewell. Plus, we have an update on Candice LeRae's WWE status, and an injured AEW star makes their Dynamite return. It's all in the wrestling news right now. An emotional week for Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly, who both gave what felt like long goodbyes.
Farewells, or at least ta-ta for nows.
TTFNs, as the kids say. Both have since tweeted after the farewell on Tuesday. Gargano saying, "Even after last night, I still can't put everything I'd like to say into words right now. Just know that I appreciate all of you more than I could ever really express. I hope I made you proud." His Twitter. Now, I don't know how long it's been there, so forgive me if I'm wrong on this, but he's got a website now called JohnnyGarganoSource.com, which is an old website he used to have.
Yeah.
And his pinned tweet is a link to a documentary that he had made about himself in 2014.
Right.
Well, that was made about him. I don't know whether he commissioned it. Read into that what you will.
Yeah, it's you know, I don't know what to make of that.
Sort of before WWE.
Yeah, it's pre-WWE. I don't, you know, is it like a here's my credentials from elsewhere?
A bit, yeah.
He's not somebody that needs to have a CV.
No way. It's Johnny Gargano, for goodness sake. But it was, I don't know, that might have been there for a while. I certainly only spotted it yesterday. O'Reilly put out a tweet as well saying, "Truly overwhelmed by all the love and heartfelt messages. By no means does this mean goodbye. Just smell you later."
And the thing is, I like when, if this is the end for now, I like when stars are able to leave amicably, you know? I like the fact that it's more, as we said yesterday, just popping a pin in it rather than slamming the door shut and being like, "I'm never coming back," because, you know, eventually, just historically, I don't know if this is going to be the case moving forward because the landscape has changed quite drastically. Eventually, a lot of people tend to get their way back somehow to WWE.
That's true.
If it's just before the end of their career or maybe a little bit later on or anything can happen, people, you know, sometimes end up coming back to WWE. And so I think to be able to just pop that pin in it and have like a nice farewell, if it is a farewell, then, you know.
There's something really nice with both of these guys who entered the WWE system, you know, with like, you know, they come from the indie scene and they was like, "Whoa, we've made it, we've got it." And they're both leaving on their own terms.
Yeah.
Not loads of people get to say that about a job in a high-level job like WWE in wrestling. They don't get to leave on their own terms. So I think that's great that if they are leaving, then they've left on their, you know, and it's even up to them. Like, Johnny Gargano is thinking, either do I re-sign with this company and continue my legacy here, or do I leave, which I think he should do personally, and go and be the busiest man the Indies have ever seen. You know, it's what I've heard is what would be called a champagne problem.
It's up to him what he feels is best, because I think he'll still produce stellar work wherever he goes. Yeah. You know, I whether he wants to stay or whether he wants to go is up to him. But at the same time, you know, he's going to be a dad soon, so he's not going to be able to stick with a rigorous, intense schedule that somebody like WWE may ask of you. So it might be a case of, well, just as and when appearances, or it could be as and when appearances on the indies, or it could literally be, all right, let's just get as much wrestling done till I'm a dad, and then let's go.
It's true. In terms of being a dad, let's go to the mum in the picture, Candice LeRae, who is the conversation turns to her now, because obviously if Johnny Gargano seems to potentially be away, what of Candice LeRae? Fightful Select have done some digging. Fightful Select have learned originally Candice LeRae's WWE deal was scheduled to expire in spring next year. LeRae remained on TV while pregnant, working with Indy Hartwell and several segments for The Way prior to the group disbanding. Now, internally, Fightful were told there hasn't been a lot of discussion on LeRae re-signing as of yet. They don't tend to do it until quite late in the contract expiration. That's probably something you should think about. We've learned that. Maybe change that rule going forward. There have been some inquiries about whether or not LeRae's contract may be frozen, which is quite possible, because what they tend to do with some folk is that if
it's most folk. You get injured and you're out for 9 months. Well, then 9 months you couldn't wrestle, 9 months on the indie contract. And this is what we were talking about, people being able to leave amicably, right? Like, if the contract just expires and rolls off, then that's it. But you see so many times where it's like, well, you did tear your ACL and you're out for 14 months, so you're here forever.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't... With Candice appearing on TV while pregnant, that kind of suggests to me that she's still making her obligations, she's still working, that the contract won't be expired, but also I think WWE really need to, because they have competition now, and they have competition that are overtly nice, it seems, when it comes to things like this. So they can't really be doing too much of this anymore, I feel. You know, they do have a right with, oh, well, we need this much wrestling out of you, and it's all agreed, but in a situation like pregnancy, and if she's still appearing on TV, if they were to slap that on the end and go, oh, that's 9 months added, I think that would just be it'd leave such a bitter taste in so many people's mouths.
Yeah.
That I think it might just be a case of, well, you know what? And we might see a bit of a loosening on that if you know people indeed deem that if people indeed deem that maternity kind of falls into that similar category of the contract needing to be expired.
Do you think do you think her move is based on what Johnny Gargano does?
Not at all. No, I mean, you've got Zelina Vega in WWE and you've got Malachi Black in AEW. I don't think it so much matters. But at the same time, you're not going to say that there's a pin in it, as we said earlier with Johnny Gargano. If Candice wants to leave, and she does want to leave, and they go, no, you're staying for 9 months, then that's going to kind of ruffle some feathers, isn't it? And you might kind of jeopardize your conversational relationship with Johnny Gargano by doing that. But it's all very speculative, it's all very up in the air, but personally I feel like they're not going to do that, not for pregnancy. And she's been appearing on TV. It'd feel callous. Not that we haven't seen incredibly callous behaviour from them this year as a company, but even then it would feel callous.
Well, questions remain on Candice LeRae's future, but one question that definitely needs to be asked after AEW Dynamite is Sue a member of Chaos or not? I think she is.
Why not? What? Yeah,
We saw a comeback last night, didn't we? We saw a big return, didn't we, Sam?
Yes, we did. So, we had the Young Bucks defeating Rocky Romero and Chuck Taylor on Dynamite, and then post-match you had Adam Cole and the Bucks attacking Chaos before Trent and Sue pulled up. And Trent, where's your hair gone, buddy?
Shaved his hair.
Where's your hair? In his little cut-off jacket, he looks like John Moxley. But yeah, Trent, he made the save for the team. He spoke with the Wrestling Podcast about his neck injury. He said, I got my neck fused. I had so much extra, bone growth and stuff. My discs were crushed and my bones were starting to fuse themselves together, which sounds awful. Yeah. I was getting sleep apnea, I was waking up and gasping for air in the middle of the night. Sometimes I would have trouble swallowing my own spit. I just thought it was nothing, but post-surgery, I guess I had so many extra bones growing that my sleep apnea was gone.
Imagine having so much knackeredness to your neck that...
It's the one thing about wrestling that it's just man, I hope that we are able to find some miracle scientific cure where it's just injecto, and then bones grow back. But
microchip in the arm.
Yeah,
all my
the fact that it was I thought it was nothing. It's waking up and gasping for air, not being able to swallow your own spit. But
you've all done that, right?
I guess that you get wrestling might be one of those things you see sometimes in wider sports. I mean, we know it is because people do work injured, but at the same time, it's I'm not that injured. Is it really an injury? Is it just maybe a bit of sleep? I'll go to the doctor and get it checked out when it's I don't know. It feels like it's good that he was so aware of it and took it seriously and went and had it examined. Because
if you're waking up gasping for air,
yeah, for sure,
that's a problem.
Yeah.
I woke up once thinking that Alex, my good lady, was falling out of bed, so I reached across and grabbed her. So when she woke up, I went, what are you doing?
She wasn't moving, so it was a lariat.
Yes, give her a lariat. She got really angry with me,
yeah.
And I remember she got really upset.
I'm just trying to help you.
That was it. That's what I did, because I was so tired. I was grumpy. I went to sleep grumpy, going, I stopped you falling out of bed. Why are you cross with me? Then next morning I woke up and went, oh yeah, sorry about that. That was weird. Good to have you back, Trent. I bet his mum was fuming that he shaved his head.
Ah, no.
Hanging out with those young'uns.
He still looks very handsome.
He's still a very handsome boy. A very, very handsome boy. We end on a bit of sad news. We want to send some love and light to the friends and family of WWE Hall of Famer Blackjack Lanza. Jim Ross put on Twitter just last night that Blackjack Lanza is away. He passed away. And news from a mutual friend got to Jim, and Jim has shared that with the wrestling world. So Blackjack Lanza, of course, one half of the Blackjacks.
Yeah.
Legendary
Iconic.
Rough House WWE tag team, along with Bray Wyatt's grandfather, Blackjack Mulligan. And they're former WWF tag team champions. He retired in the mid-80s, did Lanza, and he became a road agent for WWE. And more often than not, if you watch a lot of stuff from like the late 80s, early 90s, you'll see Lanza splitting.
He was there with every schmoz, just
getting amongst it. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame with Blackjack Mulligan by Bobby Heenan in 2006, and they went to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame as opposed to the WWE one in 2016. Triple H put out a tweet saying, certain talent will seek certain agents for advice, but everyone sought out Lanza's, the sweetest man, but incredibly tough and 100% dedicated to making us better. Jack often didn't tell you what you wanted to hear, but always told you what you needed. I will miss you dearly, my friend. And Vince McMahon put out a tweet as well saying, our hearts go out to the family and friends of Jack Lanza. He was a man's man, respected and beloved by all. We worked for and loved WWE for many years. So he worked for WWE for many years and loved WWE for many years. His loyalty and dedication will never be forgotten. So we send our love today. Pull up a Blackjacks match today on the network.
Just watch them absolutely F some S up.
Yeah. They are ones for effing up
Hosses.
the S. They're
absolute hosses.
The almost the innovator of the hosses, the Blackjacks.
And what mustaches.
Oh, beautiful mustaches, brilliant. Among many things. The late, great Blackjack Lanza, remembered today, and at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you, bye.